In episode 6 of season 1 of From, we got a massive revelation from Sarah when she was talking to Father Katri. At that point, it was still kind of unclear whether or not the voices that she kept hearing were just in her head or were actually real mystical voices or telepathy coming from somewhere in Fromville, Fromland, whatever, you get the point. But when Father Katri asked for proof and the voices showed us where he buried the bag with a bloody shot and the toy, I think it was a toy, it really became obvious that they were actually real and not some sort of delusion or whatever coming from schizophrenia or some other mental illness. Father Carter in the next episode ends up going to Sheriff Boyd's house, and when he's over there, he started explaining what Sarah had told him about the voices, telling her she needed to kill this and that guy if she wanted to get everyone out of Fromland. And Boyd actually pulled a gun on him, and but I'm just like, come on, man, relax. What the fuck? You gotta hear what he's gotta say before you pull out the gat, man. But anyways, Father Katri talks about how he ended up killing someone in anger because of them paralyzing their kid and still abusing the kid even immediately after doing such a horrible thing, and how he absolutely lost his temper from seeing that. He was just so enraged that he couldn't keep it inside him, you know? And honestly, I can't blame him. I really can't. So, anyways, after he killed the guy, he started driving away to get away from the cops. While he was trying to, I don't know, be a fugitive or whatever, he started hearing a voice in his head telling him, "Oh, you gotta follow this road. Don't go down the other one. Come this way. Come this way. Go take a left there, not the right." And it's like something you might read in the Bible, you know. And Father Katri thought the voice was actually God's voice. So he followed the voice or voices, I don't know. And before he knew it, he found himself in Fromland, which is crazy because looking back on it now, those voices, if anything, they were the devil. another, int- another really interesting moment is when Boyd and Sarah decide to explore the woods in hopes of finding a way out or some understanding of what this place is. And they end up finding a tree, and on that tree, there's a bunch of bottles on it with letters inside them. And something very interesting happens when they touch one of those bottles. It's at that same moment, Sarah starts having a really painful channeling moment and she collapses. When she wakes up, she tells Boyd that a female voice told her to tell him, "Tell Mr. Fish and Loaves I was wrong." Mr. Fish and Loaves, we know, is actually Boyd himself. And so the implication, I repeat, the implication is that this is Ion Abbey, Boyd's wife, sending him a message from the from other side. Before Boyd killed her, Ion Abbey had a theory that it was just a dream, a nightmare, and if you die, you'd wake up. That was a theory. So she started taking everyone out. Bad idea, bro. Horrible, horrible idea. So, anyways, if that was actually Ion Abbey, it would mean that bare minimum, whatever's going on here in Fromland, Fromville, is not a dream. But that's only if we assume that it was actually Abby herself and not the monsters or even something else pretending to be her. You know what I'm saying? Could be anything, you know? Uh, when she was talking with Father Katri, when Sarah was talking with Father Katri, she also mentions that the voices told her two cars will be coming to town, will be coming to town at the same time in the same day. And of course, it happened. If the crows we see at the fallen tree when someone gets to farmland are actually where those voices are coming from, it would make sense how they can see so much of what is going on in the town because they can fly, you know. Crows, they can fly, they fly pretty well. But it doesn't explain how they knew in advance that two cars were going to be coming into the town itself. Based on how Father Katri got to the town, it seems like the voices want to keep people coming into the town. But it also confuses me because if the voices brought Jade and his friend into town, why did they ask Sarah to kill him when they're the ones who wanted him to be there? Who wanted them to be there? You know what I'm saying? Something I found really interesting is when the voices told Sarah to kill Jade's friend. They also told her to cut out his tongue for some reason. I don't know what the reason is, but they did so. They told him, they told her to cut out his tongue. Maybe the reason is if you cut out the tongue, the spirit of the person won't be able to communicate with the people in Framland the same way that Abby did. Remember, she died from a bullet. Ionabi died from a bullet. I'm thinking it's very possible that there's actually two or even more groups of voices that are talking to Sarah. Both may have their own agendas. I feel like that could easily be the case because remember, even the boy in white can also talk to Sarah. So when you do the count, that means there's at least four groups of people. If we assume that Sarah hadn't ever seen the boy in white before the very last episode, you got one, you got the voices that want people in the town. Then you got number two, the voices trying to get people out of the town. Number three, you've got Ionabi. Sarah said it was the first time she'd heard a female voice, meaning Ionabi isn't working with those other two groups. And then number four, of course, you got the boy in white. You know, I'm assuming that he's not working with those other two groups. So that's at least four different voices. And it's possible that these voices can only communicate to Sarah in different locations. She only saw the boy in white once they got really close to the lighthouse. And with Abby, it was right before the lighthouse. And with those other two, they only talked to her while she was in the main town, you know? So, all in all, it seems to me the voices and the monsters are not working together. Because if they were working together, there's no reason why they would have asked Sarah to kill Jade's friend and cut off his tongue, because they could have easily just done that themselves when she removed the talisman from the door. But maybe they're actually playing 4D chess and that wasn't even Ionabi, but it was just some random monster instead. That would be crazy. That would be crazy.